Hey, I'm glad you could make it. Yes, thank you. You look great yourself.
You are valuable.
Oh, isn't this just a beautiful street? It's like we stepped back in time, all of these little tiny retail shops, independently owned. Isn't it great? I'm glad we decided to come here. It's with real people and real situations, and everyone's just running around looking so frantic but happy, right?
You are valuable.
And I know that a lot of these bigger stores are pushing out these little shops, and we need to keep focusing on the people that really are serving us. And speaking of that, hey, how about going to my favorite tea shop? It's right around the corner. Awesome! Great, 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 great. Hey, look, do you notice it's flurrying? Oh, what a great night. Not too cold, but cold enough for the flurries. It's so fun. Okay, so once we get there, I want you to just to take notice of something. I should keep it a secret, but I won't. There is a gingerbread house contest happening in the tea shop, all the way in the back. Yes, 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 yes. And there's a beautiful big window, and hopefully we can find seats by this window. Because when we sit there, if we do, we can look out, and it is just beautiful. They usually have a beautiful display, and you can see all of the people walking up and down the street, and it's like old times. It looks absolutely beautiful. It's like something out of a movie. Just puts you in this holiday spirit.
You are valuable.
Okay, here we are. All right, what do you think? Isn't it beautiful? Okay, look, there's seats there. Okay, wait, here she comes. Yeah, hi, can we sit over by the window in that corner so that we can also see the gingerbread houses? Is that seat available? Awesome, great, okay. Awesome. All right, take your coat off. I'll take my coat off. What do you think? Isn't this place great? Oh, look at outside. It's just beautiful. Oh my gosh, look at the carolers. Oh, this is so great. I told you, it's like we stepped back in time where things weren't about just buying things all of the time. Yeah. Okay. Here she comes. She's going to ask what we want. So I think I'm going to have the gingerbread chai tea, and I'm going to have the sugar cookies, and I'm also going to have the blueberry fruit cup. Thank you. And you? Okay, great. This is just so wonderful. So here's what I wanted to talk about. I know that a lot of people right now are having a hard time financially, and the pandemic has been really hard on everyone. There's vicarious trauma, which is pretty much, even if you were not directly affected by the pandemic, as in having COVID or knowing someone that had COVID or losing a job or anything like that, we all were seeing it, and we continue to see basically COVID unfolding and how it's affecting everyone. And so just watching it is part of the vicarious trauma. So we have to honor that we've all been through trauma. And we have to honor that we all need to focus on our truth, not the trauma of the pandemic. Who are we when we're not thinking about vaccines and masks and debating politics and science and all of that? Who are we underneath all of that? Who are we without anger or fear or resentment? We need to get back in touch with that. And financially, the entire world is suffering, and we're suffering too. So we need to focus on, even if you're doing well financially, we need to focus on not using gift giving and finance and money as a way to show love. We need to be able to really get to what matters. And it's really interesting. I've noticed that there is such a strong pull towards retro Christmases and retro holidays, retro Hanukkahs, because think about it, even as recent as the 80s, although it was a long time ago, I don't know if you're old enough to remember, but the 80s were a time of everyone being together and everyone feeling affluent, even if they were not. And they were allowed to be creative. I mean, just think about some of the movies that were popular in that time. Pretty in Pink. It was about a girl that didn't have a lot of money, but yet it was a focus of money in the movie. But at the same time, the fact that she, in the end, did not have finance, giftedness, let's call it, from her family, it didn't matter. And just so many movies like that, Breakfast Club, all of those teen movies of the time, Flashdance, a lot of these movies like Grease and Dirty Dancing, all of these movies had to do with someone being on the wrong side of the tracks in one way, if you want to call it that. So someone who was not affluent and someone who was affluent. And what brought them together was just enjoying life and interacting and respecting each other's differences. And this is why I think we're going back to retro times. This is why we're decorating and yearning for more of a retro holiday and getting back to baking and just being more focused on interacting. And this is why it's so important, because during this entire pandemic, we have not had that, right? How's your tea, by the way? Mine is delicious. But anyway, it's really interesting that during all of this time, we have been really isolated. And when we look at the 80s, the 70s, the 60s, the 50s, these were times of coming together. Having value ourselves. And having value ourselves means we're not going to overspend. We're not going to do that. We're going to show love in a lot of different ways. There's a lot of different love languages, and not all of them have to do with buying things. There's a lot of ways that we can buy gifts and them be absolutely meaningful. I mean, there's places that sell books for $1. You can go to those places and pick out a meaningful book and wrap it beautifully and have a meaningful note to it. And that is something that is important too. Yeah, I'm not really fond of giving money away for the holidays. It seems like a good thing to do, and it keeps, it even. Some people give, $10 or $20 to each grandchild. I think it's more important to give a gift, because the gift can actually be a way to save money as well as give something meaningful. And maybe everyone gets the same book that they even have for when they get older, and maybe some little toy or baked cookies, or maybe everyone gets together and bakes. I think it's more meaningful for people to connect right now and to know that they're loved and to hear that they're loved. I know, there's those people. There's that person that you just don't want to connect with in the holidays. And I think that right now more than ever, we're learning that we don't have to connect with someone that isn't going to be kind to us. We can love people, but we can love them from a distance. Exactly. Oh, look at the flurries coming down. I just think it's important for us to not overspend. So let's just focus on that right now. Let's just listen to the music and look outside and look at the flurries coming down and focus on our own true value. Not overspending. Being happy with what we can give and not worrying if people expect something else or we feel obligated. We're just going to put all of that aside, and we're going to have a good budget. And we're going to stick to that budget. Right? Look at the flurries and listen to that beautiful music. That beautiful music is what it is about. We're not going to overspend. Let's just pretend right now that we're just laying down, closing our eyes, maybe at a spa or cuddled up under our respective beds or on our respective couches. And just, if we really had to focus on who we truly wanted to buy for, or maybe we don't want to buy this year, and we tell people we're not going to buy this year, that's okay. We don't have to purchase. And if we do purchase, we can stick to a budget. Budgets are like boundaries. And personal boundaries are not punishments that we dole out to people. They're gifts that we're giving. A boundary unto itself is a gift. It's telling people how we expect to be treated, and it's also letting them know that we respect them to hold boundaries for them as well. That space where boundaries reside is respectful and it's dignity. So having a budget is the same. It's a boundary that shows respect and dignity. It means we don't want anyone to overspend on us either. It means we respect that they need to put food on the table or feed their children or keep a roof over their head or just invest that money in themselves. I know. It's all about just keeping the budget, keeping the boundaries. It's not a punishment, it's a gift. I'm so glad that you are here with me. This is what matters. Your presence is a gift. You are valuable. You are so valuable. Just having a cup of tea is luxurious to me right now. Being able to connect with you is a true luxury. You are valuable. You don't have to spend money to be valuable. You are perfect as you are. You don't have to prove it. You're filled with dignity and honor. And regardless of what has ever happened to you or what people have said to you or how they have treated you, you can hold your head high and have boundaries that are gifts and budgets that are a gift to yourself and to others. You are valuable. The gingerbread houses, the flurries, sounds of people on the street, all of this music has been absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much for spending time with me. This is my gift from you. Thank you. You don't need to get me a single thing. Your presence is enough because you are valuable. Stick to your boundaries. Stick to the budget. You can do it. You can find creative ways. You are valuable. 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 You are valuable.